Hey guys, I'm very excited because it's been a while since I've really done some tutorials, and today I am trying to get 3 filmed, and they are all to do with extensions, bleaching hair, dyeing hair. So yeah, I hope this is going to be a lot of help to you guys. Today I'm aiming to create pastel rainbow hair extensions. Obviously not all of you are going to want that kind of look, probably. I'm not expecting any of you to do that, but I'm going to teach you how you can lighten your hair extensions if you either want to achieve a pastel colour in your hair or if you just want the platinum blonde kind of extensions. I'm also going to show you how you can mix colours to get pastel dyes, and I'm also going to show you how to put in hair extensions. But this first video for today is on bleaching hair extensions. Now, it probably doesn't look like it for this camera. For some reason my hair is showing up really vivid, but it's actually my hairdresser has lightened my hair a lot, and it's my original quite candy pink is lifted to a really pastel pink. I don't know if you can, yeah, it just looks really dark on camera for some reason. And in order for me to reach that colour, my hairdresser has to bleach my hair white. Now, for those of you who have pastel hair already, or if you have platinum hair, you know that if you buy hair extensions, that very, very rarely will you actually get what they say they are. Now, I always buy my hair extensions in colour number 60, which is called white blonde, and every time you buy them, they usually arrive about this colour. And it's a really light blonde, it's almost platinum, but I think that these are really long extensions for a start. The hair extensions I'm going to be dyeing today are 28 to 30 inches long, which is seriously long. It's going to be like mermaid hair, basically. It's going to be down to pretty much my butt. And most of this hair comes from China or India, and the original hair colour was pretty much black or really dark brown, and so it's really, really hard to achieve that kind of white blonde colour. You can do it, you just have to process the hair again yourself with a bleach. So I'm going to show you basically how I do that. Now, before I get on with the tutorial, I'm just going to run through basically what you're going to need. So the first thing you obviously need is your hair extensions. I buy my hair extensions off eBay. I buy them from various sellers. I'll link you the seller which I bought these ones from. Today I'm going to be bleaching both a hair piece, which is quite a lot of layers of hair extensions sewed together to make a thicker one piece, and I'm also going to be bleaching a 10-piece set of 28-inch hair extensions. And the thing to look out for with hair extensions, personally, I'm not, you know, there's a lot of hype about who's a good seller or who's not. Unless you're buying like European Remy hair, Russian hair, which is better quality, when it comes down to Indian or Chinese Remy hair, I find that most sellers have about the same quality. So what I would suggest looking out for when you're buying this hair is to make sure there's 100% Remy hair, which is 100% human hair, and you also want to check the weight of the hair extensions. A lot of the time sellers will try to sell you really long hair extensions like this and will rip you off by making them thinner wefts, which means you're going to get a less full head of hair. So my 10-piece hair set is 250 grams of hair, which is a lot of hair for one set. Most sets average on around 150 grams of hair. So try to look for sellers that sell a lot of grams of hair for a good price. You can either make the wefts yourself or you can buy them clipped on. I used to make them myself, but I found I wasn't actually saving that much money, so I tend to just buy them with the clips on now. It's a lot easier to do, and it saves a lot of time having to make the wefts yourself. I have made these hair pieces before because I couldn't find them anywhere. I'm going to try and find the seller for you guys so I can remember where I actually bought these from, because I can't remember. But you can make something like this pretty easily yourself. And as for what you're going to need for bleaching, now the first thing you're obviously going to need is bleach. I just use a High Lift Blue Blonde highlighter, which I buy from Priceline here in Australia. Really easy to get your hands on. It's just a standard salon bleach. Personally, before I go any further, I don't suggest bleaching your hair at home. I bleach my own hair extensions and dye them myself, but I get my own hair professionally done at the hairdresser. who uses a very high quality of salon bleach, and of course they know what they're doing a lot more than me. When it comes to doing the extensions, it doesn't really matter as much if you screw them up. If you scrub your own hair, then you know you're going to be pretty upset about it. So personally, I get my hair bleached at the salon and I do everything else myself. Next thing you're going to need is a developer. I use a 20-volt developer for when I'm bleaching my hair extensions because it's not too strong. Even though it's not my own hair, you know, I want to be gentle on the extensions, plus they already are quite light to begin with, so I don't find it's necessary to use a 30 or 40-volt developer. After that, things that you will need is, once you've bleached the hair, you're going to want to tone it. I'll show you how to do that. Now, you can either go for a toning shampoo, and I have 2 here. Now, this is a much cheaper toning shampoo, and if you have a look at the colour, if you can really see there, but it's not that concentrated. It's like a lilac-y kind of colour. Now this is the new toning shampoo I've been using. Whoop. And, ooh, I just used it in the shower a minute ago. Okay, can you see that? Okay, it is a much more concentrated version, so it works a lot better. And this is the Fudge Clean Blonde Violet Toning Shampoo. And yeah, try to get one that has quite a high level of pigmentation of the violet, especially if you have white blonde hair. Or you can go for a toner. I have a few toners here. They pretty much all do the same thing. I've got one by Fudge, it's the Paint Box Whiter Shade of Pale. You can also use this when you're lightening a hair colour, which I'm going to show you in the next tutorial. I also have a Special Effects Silver Toner, and I have one here by Directions by La Riche, which is a white toner, same thing. And then once you've done all of that, you just want to condition the extensions. I don't try to spend a fortune on what kind of shampoos and conditioners I use on my extensions because it ends up being too costly. I use Tresemme personally, or just this local, just whatever is in the supermarket basically and isn't a total piece of crap. So I'm using this at the moment. It doesn't have any silicone in it, and in my hair color tutorial I'm going to explain why that's good to not have the silicone in the product. Other things that you'll need, tools, is you're going to need tinting brushes. Yeah, you can pick them up in your local hair supply store. If you're doing just foils in your extensions, then you're going to want to have some sectioning clips or some foils to do that. You're also going to want a brush to comb through the bleach and make sure it spreads evenly through the hair. I use one of the shower brushes because I find it's gentle on wet hair, and they basically, the little bristles look like that, and it works a lot better. And yeah, tinting bowl, I think I mentioned that, yeah. You might also need some salon hair scissors. Sometimes the ends of the extensions can get a bit damaged afterwards bleaching them, so you might just want to trim the ends off, but that's optional, depends how much you screw it up, I guess. And lastly, you're going to want to cover your work surface really well. I'm sitting at my desk at the moment, and I've put down a white plastic tablecloth, one of those party tablecloths, and I'm also going to be covering over the surface with cling wrap because you don't want to get this bleach anywhere. And wear fairly old clothes as well. I'm just wearing my old Barbie and the Rockers tee, so if I get a little bit of bleach on it, I'm not going to be devastated. So don't wear, you know, your best clothes while you're doing this. So anyway, I'll get on with the tutorial. Okay guys, so this is my work surface. So as you can see, everything's well protected. I forgot to say in the last part that you also want to have gloves to protect your hands. So what I'm firstly going to do is mix up the bleach. Now, when I'm bleaching hair extensions, I want it to be a really creamy kind of fairly thin consistency because I'm bleaching a lot of hair and it needs to spread evenly through the hair, and I find if the formula is too thick that it doesn't work as well. So what I tend to do is I mix about 1 spoon of this bleach, of the powder bleach. So I mix about that much. And the reason that this bleach is blue, from my understanding, is that it also helps with the toning of the hair extensions or your hair along the way. And then actually I'm going to use 2 scoops because I'm dyeing a hell of a lot of hair today. So I'm using about 2 scoops of the bleach. So next I'm going to get my 20 volt developer. Just here. Yep. Now, there's not any particular, it doesn't have to be exact how much you mix in. I try to mix about 2 parts of developer to 1 part bleach. So I'll just start mixing it now. Okay. Thoroughly mix it until it reaches a very creamy consistency and all the little blobs of it are out. As you can see, it's looking pretty smooth now. I'm just going to add a little bit more developer to that. Okay, so I'm ready to begin. Now, always work on dry hair when it comes to bleaching. So starting right at the top of the hair, I'm just going to work the bleach down. Once you've covered one side, just turn the extensions over and make sure you bleach the other side. As you can see, not a lot of it got reached by the bleach. Once you've done that, you just want to make sure that it has penetrated through all the hair. So, start at the top, I generally just run my fingers through and make sure that it's all kind of blended in there. Now, once I've done that piece, I'm just going to continue with the rest of the hair. Okay, so I finished bleaching the hair and it's just here. I've neatly placed it all together. Now what I've tried to do is keep it in the order that I more or less bleached it. It took about 15 minutes for me to bleach all the hair, 15 to 20 minutes. It's here, and I've just kind of folded it neatly. Now what I'm going to do is get an egg timer, because it's really important that you don't guess with things like bleach. Okay, so here's my egg timer. Now, usually depending on the colour that you started with the extensions, if they're darker, then I'd leave them no more than an hour. If they're fairly light, then I probably wouldn't leave them more than half an hour. Now, I tested with half an hour with these particular extensions before and they didn't develop really well, so I'm going to go with 45 minutes. Now, even though I've said 45 minutes, these ones at the front have obviously been developing for longer than that, so I'm going to leave these ones for about maybe half an hour and then check on them because I don't want to overdevelop them. One thing I will say as well, if you're in a rush, and I've seen some tutorials on this on YouTube and it really irritates me, don't think that you can speed up the bleaching time by applying heat to the extensions. Yes, it does work, but years and years ago when I had platinum blonde hair, I had an apprentice do my hair and he decided to put my hair under heat. As a result, my hair felt like jelly and most of it had to be cut off, and it was one of the most awful experiences ever. So just make sure that you give it the recommended bleaching time and that you don't speed up the process with heat. So I'm just going to fold this over and I'll come back to them in half an hour.
Sometimes the feeling is right. You fall in love for the first time. Heartbeat and kisses so sweet. Summertime love in the moonlight. I ever wanted. You're all I ever needed. Yeah. So tell me what to do now. 'Cause I want you back.
So basically the time's over and it's time to rinse extensions. I rinsed some of them a bit earlier because I was worried about over processing them. Firstly, I'm just going to rinse out the bleach. It's really important to get all the bleach out. I'm just doing it in my bathroom sink. Do it somewhere you know can't get damaged by the bleach. So what I want to do is get out all the bleach. And once I've done that, I just want to get my toning conditioner and shampoo. Now when it comes to my shampoo, I'm mixing about 1/2 of the toning shampoo with 1/2 of normal shampoo. When it comes to toning hair, you know when you see those people who have obviously overtoned their hair by putting in too much of this purple, it's always a lot easier to tone it again rather than overtone it. So I tend to mix in half normal shampoo with half toning shampoo just so that my hair doesn't end up being stained purple. And just starting at the top there, just going to work it through. And what I'm going to do with each piece is I'm going to leave it to sit with the toner on it for a little, just for a couple minutes, while I go through the rest of the hair. Okay, so now it's time to rinse them. I don't really need gloves for this. The toner's not really going to stain my hands and there's no bleach left. So pretty standard. Just make sure you get all the toning conditioner out. If there's any purpleness left in them, just go over them, shampoo them with a normal shampoo, and it should come out pretty easy. Okay, so remember all that stuff I told you, that whole spiel about not over toning your hair extensions? Well, I've managed to do that myself, and I literally had this toning conditioner shampoo on there for 2 minutes or 3 minutes. So just be really careful about that. I've managed to get them to, as you can see, they're a lot wider than they were before. I haven't dried them because I'm going to be dyeing them next. It's not going to be much of an issue for me anyway because I am dyeing a lot of these pieces purple when I do my pastel hair, and then the bits that are still nice and white I'll be dyeing the other colours. But yeah, I just thought, you know, learn from my mistakes. I don't usually make this mistake, but for some reason, you know, hair extensions seem to take really quickly to the toner. Regardless, this is how I get my hair extensions white. They are very, very light now. And just make sure that once you have, I'm not drying them, but if I was drying them, I'd use a deep conditioner on them and preferably just leave them to air dry. I wouldn't blow dry them. And that's pretty much all you need to do. I would recommend using treatments on them if you've bleached them. Just take good care of them. Hopefully this has been of some use to you guys. Yeah, like I said, the toner is not a huge issue for me, but if you are just wanting them platinum, just be really careful with the toner. Yeah, I hope this video is of some use to you guys, and if you're interested in learning how to dye your hair extensions pastel, then stay tuned for the next video. If not, I'll speak to you guys soon.